What's up guys, I'm Kyle, also known as the Panda Man. In today's video, I'm going to tell you how you can recover from your patellar tendon rupture in record time. Back in 2012, I was still a phys ed teacher, running my gym, Newell Strength, burning the candle at both ends, so to speak, training people before school, teaching all day, going right to school, right back to the gym. I would have to be drinking like Monster, sugar-free Monsters on the way to the gym because I'd be falling asleep, just running myself ragged, getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning, thinking that I was kind of just being mentally tough doing that, and I wore myself out. Towards the end of March of that year, played in the men's league game, basketball, which is my favorite sport, got home, started burning up, not really sure what was going on. Temperature spikes to 104. Devin says, get in the car, we're going to the Med-Emerge, see what the hell's going on. Turns out I came down with a real bad case of pneumonia. Seemed like it came out of nowhere. I couldn't even touch my skin. Burning up, just soaking through the sheets every night. So anyhow, that passes within 2 weeks. Start feeling better. Go back and I play in another men's league game, in a different league. I was in 2 leagues at that point. Probably shouldn't have been playing, but I was. Felt okay, my lungs. Towards the end of the game, I'm sprinting down the court, running after one of my students' fathers, and my left leg just explodes. No idea what happened. I went down, couldn't feel my leg. Extreme pain, excruciating. Guys are coming over, they're covering their eyes, walking away. So I know it's bad. Now I'm thinking maybe I dislocated my upper part of my leg and my lower part of my leg. I didn't know, but I knew it was bad. So they wound up calling the game, the ambulance comes. They keep asking me, hey, are you gonna vomit? Are you gonna vomit? I guess because of the pain level. Again, still no idea what's going on. They take me to the hospital, to the emergency room. My buddy's called Devin. She drives up with my parents. I'm laying there in the hospital bed. The ER doctor comes in and says, you ruptured your patellar tendon. Now, I'd never heard of anybody doing that, and I'm in the strength and conditioning field for like a decade at that point, more than that. But I never heard of this injury before. I started crying on the spot because I just knew, and my gut knew this is bad. This is bad. Remember, guys, my livelihood was running my gym and being a phys ed teacher. Now I have no use of my leg. Anyhow, that first weekend, I felt sorry for myself, which is very unusual for me. I remember turning my mind around and saying, no, forget this. You're going to figure this out. You're getting your surgery. So I had my surgery like the next Tuesday, so it was like 4 days later. Turns out what happened, now usually when you rupture a patellar tendon, or any tendon, it's an avulsion fracture. It comes off the bone 95% of the time. So most tendon ruptures, guys, there's not pain involved. People will tell you, oh, I was in a lot of pain. It's not really, it's really just a discomfort. That's why Kobe was able to shoot his free throws when he ruptured his Achilles tendon. The tendon came off the bone, but the tendon was still intact. What happened with me was my tendon actually snapped vertically and horizontally right in the middle, 4 pieces. My IT band snapped in half. My knee capsule blew out. 3 ligaments blew out. So just a mangled knee. My surgeon, Dr. Getcha, one of the top knee surgeons in the country, said it was the worst knee injury he had ever seen in his 3 decades of practice. So I have the surgery, all bandaged up in this big clunky metal brace. If you've had the surgery, you know what I'm talking about. Listen to all the protocols that they told me to follow. Keep ice on it, keep it elevated, all this stuff. Well, as I'm going through this process, guys, my leg is just like deformed, kind of a nightmare, so to speak. Like no clarity on how to really recover from this because there was nothing else out there on this topic. I got to 4 months out. So I think I was in July, and I was 72 degrees range of motion. So at that point, I'm like, man, am I gonna get full usage of my leg again? Like it's just not bending, and it's mush, which, as you know, can really wreak havoc on your brain if you stop hitting your regular routine. But I will tell you guys this, I knew from the get-go, and you can see old YouTube videos of me, I was training in a wheelchair right after the surgery with my leg out because the training, it was very important. So that's what I really one thing I want to get across to you guys today. When you get injured, when you have your patellar tendon rupture, or any other major knee injury, continue to train your good side and your upper body because you're going to get feel-good chemicals to your brain. There are certain growth factors and hormones that can only get to your brain through physical movement, which is going to help you feel better. And that's part of the reason one of the main reasons for exercise, the endorphin rush and just feeling really good. But the blood flow is key as far as helping you recover from this injury. So fast forward from this injury, guys, 2012, 2014, I competed in a bodybuilding show to put this behind me. 3 months after the bodybuilding show, I did the same exact thing to my right knee. Same exact thing. 3 ligaments, IT band, tendon snaps into 4 pieces, knee capsule blows out. But now I know exactly how to go through the protocol. And I use my exact protocol that I highlight in my book, How to Recover from Your Patellar Tendon Rupture in Record Time, which the reason I wrote that, guys, there was nothing else out there on this injury. That's the thing you got to remember. What you're going through, there's a silver lining to. I promise you, this will be one of the best things that has ever happened to you. You might not be able to see it in the moment, but I have guys that'll come to me for help with this a year later, like, man, I'm so glad I went through that, because the resilience they build up and what they learn about themselves and their human spirit. So as far as how do you do this, recovery and the protocol, here's what I want you to do. So here's what I did the second time around. Louis Simmons was a great mentor to me, and I found with the first injury that he had done this in the early 80s. So Louis gave me a couple tips. Using the sled, okay? Sled is great for knee rehab. Your hip controls your knee, guys. Your knee is just a dumb joint. It gets the signal basically from the ankle or the hip. After the surgery, no ice. This is counterintuitive to what they're gonna tell you. Ice is for pain. That's it. Use it in the very short term. That's a whole nother topic, but that's more of a myth when you look at the history of when icing injuries came about. So I used heat. I got the brace off within a week. I took the brace off and moved to a neoprene sleeve. The blue Reband 1 7mm compression, okay, that's key in healing. It's gonna keep it warm, right? So we wanna get blood flow to the area. Stimulation and movement. I wasn't resting. I got off the crutches much quicker the second time. Walking around. In my home environment, I started, so I knew the environment. There was much less risk, I should say, of slipping and falling or whatnot. So moving around. In training, I started training the posterior chain pretty much right away, guys. Doing my RDLs, hitting my sleds, my kettlebell swings. Again, because you want to train the posterior. That's really how you're going to build up. What you want to do right out the gate, coming out with your injury, passive range of motion within a week, passive range of motion, leg extension. Put a band underneath your Achilles, let it come down. You're using, so your leg is sitting off the edge of the bed or a chair. Lower your leg. Don't go to extreme pain. That's a mistake I made with the first time around my left leg. You don't have to push this to extreme pain. Lower it down, pull it back up. I want you doing 100 to 200 m a day. When it's all said and done though, guys, the advice that they're gonna give you, again, you can consult with your doctor, but that is for Homer Simpson types. Those are for people that don't need to urgently get back to their life. You do everything that I just told you to do, heat, compression, movement, stimulation. You're gonna recover much quicker and never stop training. Maybe the day of the surgery and the day after, but it's gonna do your brain so much good because it's all comes down to your mind, guys, and the mindset that you're gonna take to your recovery. As Louis Simmons told me, you can recover range of motion. You can be pain-free, but until you have no fear of re-injury, you're not healed. Thanks for tuning into today's video, guys. I need you to do a couple things for me. I need you to hit the like button so I know that you like what I'm putting out, and I'll put out more content like this for you. I need you to leave a comment. That could be a question, critique, something you want to engage me with in the comment section. Lastly, I need you to hit the subscribe and notification button. That way, you're sure never to miss anything that the Panda Man puts out.